Hey guys, this is Adrita again from Pineman Education, and in the previous video we were solving the paper 1 for Business IGCSE May 2020. We had finished section 1 and we were about to do section 2 for the next video, section B. So today we are gonna finish section B, and we are gonna move on to section C for the next video. So for starters, section B and C are extract based sections. So there is an extract given, we will read through it and then answer the short and broad questions that we are supposed to answer, and we will have to relate a lot. There has to be a lot of application for these two sections, so that will gain us marks. And I know a lot of us have issues with properly applying to the context given, so we will work through that and hopefully this should be helpful. So this section is of 30 marks, and to maximize marks we're going to read through the extract very quickly first, understand what it's talking about, and then try to answer the questions. So I would leave it up to you guys to read the extract line by line, but it is basically about On Your Bike, which is a family owned business based in London, UK. So it sells bikes, it also imports bikes from other countries, sells them in London, and it has very good reviews from its customers, and it heavily invests regularly on training its workforce. It always updates its cycling products, always stays up to date with the new technology, and tries to provide exceptional customer service. So they have specialized mechanics and all of those stuff. So take your time, read the extract, and then let's start answering the questions. So the first question is, outline one reason why cash would be important to On Your Bike. So it's basically asking us why cash flow is important for On Your Bike. So there are multiple reasons for it. It's just 2 marks, so we will give one reason and justify by relating it to the extract. So we can write that cash flow is very important in order to pay proper wages to its employers, because if they do not do so, then these employers might leave the business and go to some other cycle selling company, and this might be a loss for On Your Bike as a company. So that's a very easy reason. So remember the drill, we first write down the reason why it's important, and then we try to analyze it further, break it down further, try to relate it to the extract. That will give us 2 marks. So the reason is cash is important to pay its employees regularly, and this is because if they do not do so, then or else they may leave the business and go elsewhere, which is a loss for On Your Bike. Cool. So this is why cash is important. Pretty easy answer, will get us 2 marks, and we identified the reason and then related back to the extract. Moving on to part B, which is a 6 marker. So this is asking us analyze the impact on Your Bike of customers using social media to review the business. So we all use social media now. We use social media review buttons to review anything that we purchase from any shop. If we like it, we give it a good review. If we don't, if we give it a bad review. So this is a customer review which On Your Bike got from social media. So we are going to relate it from here. Great customer service, particularly from Miles, who might be one of the employees. They have great range of bikes for hire too. So this is a good review. Now analyze the impact of how this might be beneficial or this might not be beneficial for the company. So we are firstly gonna write that we will write both points. So let's start by writing it can increase the number of customer reviews and when people check their reviews online, people elsewhere who are not from London can see the good reviews and come and buy bikes from On Your Bike. So basically, the first advantage is people from outside London see the reviews, and this will mean that more customers come for purchases. More customer come from purchases, that will eventually lead to more customer base, greater market share, more sales, and therefore more profit, as we all know. And so basically that's how you relate it back to the extract. So we are going to say tourists may consider renting bikes from On Your Bike, and this will therefore increase sales, customer base, market share. So we are going to talk about tourists renting more bikes, so greater customer share. Bikers, no, bikes, and more sales, more profit. This is the positive point of social media reviews. We have to write one negative point since it says analyze. So one negative point might be that this over here gives us a positive review, but someone might as well give a negative review for On Your Bike. So one person having a negative feedback for a company does not mean that the company is really bad. Maybe that person's wants were not satisfied, so they gave a bad review, but that really does not mean everything is bad about the company. So what we can say is negative reviews will be hard to manage because you cannot properly respond to the negative review and so on. And therefore, if there is a negative review and some tourist sees it, they might have a wrong impression about the company, and they might not know about their excellent customer service. So basically wrong impression, and that might decrease sales. So I'm just writing the points down as usual. You will write the entire sentences, try to elaborate, and so on. So this is it. One positive point analysis from the extract, one negative point analysis from the extract, and we will get 6 out of 6. Now for question 5. So these seem to be two short calculations. So let's check them out. Part A says, okay, so On Your Bike has made the following forecast for costs and sales of its bikes. We have some forecasts given. Using the information in table 2, calculate the selling price per bike. You are advised to show your workings. Okay, so we have the total number of bike sales and we have the total revenue. So basically, the formula for total revenue is price times quantity. We know the quantity, we know the total revenue. We are asked to find the price per unit. So it's pretty easy. Price will therefore be the total revenue, which is divided by the total number of bikes sold, which is 2000. This formula is pretty important. Total revenue equals price times quantity. From here we can find out any of the three given any of the two. So the price per unit will be £550. Pretty easy calculation. Now for part B, using table 2 again, calculate the profit, which is the forecasted profit made from 2021. You are advised to show your workings. So profits equals total revenue minus total cost. As we all know, this is again another important formula. So profits will be total revenue is minus total costs are fixed costs plus variable costs. So we have variable cost per bike, which is 350. We have the number of bikes which are sold, so this will be 2000 times 350. All right, so this part is my variable cost, total variable cost. This is my total fixed cost. This is my total revenue. Add this, subtract this, we will get 250,000 pounds is our profit. Alrighty, so this is that. We get 4 marks. Again, another 6 marker. So it says the owners of On Your Bike want to lower the break-even level of output and have decided to do this by reducing costs. Analyze the impact on Your Bike of a reduction in cost in order to maintain its break-even output. So basically we have to analyze if reduction of cost is a good thing or a bad thing. So we're gonna put up points for a good thing and a bad thing, analyze it, relate it back to the extract, and we're done. So how might a reduction of cost be? Firstly, let's talk about the positive points as usual. So how might the reduction of a cost be helpful for any company? Very straightforward. Reduction of cost will lead to more profit given the same amount of sales, and more profit means more profitability. So lower costs equals higher profits, which is a good point. If they have higher profits, we will build it further. If they have higher profits, what is the benefit? So if they have higher profits, this will mean that On Your Bike would need to sell fewer cycles in order to cover its fixed costs, and therefore it can break even at a lower quantity of outputs being sold. So lower quantity of output because this comes from fewer cycles sold to break even. All right, so this is my good point, that I'll have higher profits. If I have higher profits, I'll need lower quantity of output to reach my break-even point, and therefore this is a good thing for the company. It does not have a pressure of selling so many products in order to gain a high enough profit or revenue, or to break even, that is. Okay, so now we will go on to one bad point of lower costs. So one way of reducing cost might be lowering the level of training given to employees, because if I'm training my employees, that is also a cost. So lower training will mean lower costs. Training costs will decrease, so to say. But if I am reducing my training costs, and if that sure will decrease my costs, but it will also decrease the amount of training given to my employees, which is a problem, because going back to the extract, we see we have qualified mechanics, we have regular training courses, which in turn allows our employees to offer exceptional customer service and advice. So all of these are interrelated. Now if I lower my training, this will lead to lower qualified mechanics. This part is the applications part. So we are taking stuff from the extract, relating it to our answer, which is very important. And if we have lower qualified mechanics, this will mean lower quality customer service. And if we have lower quality customer service, lower satisfaction, lower customer satisfaction, therefore lower sales, lower profitability. So all of these are interrelated. We take stuff from the extract, relate it back to our answer, and we are done. So one good point, analysis of why it's a good point. One bad point, analysis of why it's bad. Related back to the extract, we have full marks. And then let's move on. So this is question 6, part A. State one market segment that On Your Bike has targeted. So basically this is 1 mark, so we don't have to provide a definition for market segmentation, but we know that market segmentation occurs when a company tries to differentiate its products based on market segments, so to say age or customer wants and stuff like that. So it has products for each individual customer need. So let's go back to the extract. How has On Your Bike performed market segmentation? So in the first paragraph where I've underlined, you can see its customers include children to experienced enthusiasts who are road cycling, mountain biking. So we see that On Your Bike has its products lined up for customers who are children to customers who are very experienced enthusiasts who would be biking on the mountain. So we see the diverse nature of its products in order to cater to different people with different experience, different demographics. So we will see, we will just write 1. So we will see market segmentation has occurred because customers are children and also experienced bikers. That's it. All right, B, outline one impact of On Your Bike. Well, outline one impact on your bike of an increase in the value of pound. So this is an exchange rate question, and increase in the value of pound. So our company is British and we are in London. Pound is our currency, and increase in the value of pound means exchange rate increased, and increase in the value of pound means that sometimes it is a good thing, sometimes it is a bad thing. So we are just asked to analyze one impact, and we can write either a good thing or a bad thing. We can just write one good thing, it's just 2 marks. So one good thing about increase in pound is that we will first write, if there is an increase in the value of pound, imports will become cheaper because our currency is now stronger, so we can import goods at a cheaper rate. So imports will be cheaper. If imports are cheaper, remember that On Your Bike imports products and bikes from outside and sells them into the business. So if imports are cheaper, our we have to pay less for the bikes made in other countries which we are importing, and therefore this reduces our costs. This will reduce costs. So this is one impact of an increase in exchange rate or increase in the value of pound. If pound appreciates, imports will become cheaper. If imports are cheaper because our company buys bikes from other countries and sells them inside, so these imports will become cheaper. This will reduce costs, increase profitability, and so on. All right, this is the last question for the section. To expand its business in response to the growth in cycling market, On Your Bike is considering 2 options. Option 1, open a second shop, and option 2, start to use e-commerce on its website. So the question is, justify which one of these 2 options On Your Bike should choose. So we will talk about both the options, weigh its cost and disadvantages, and then choose one based on what we understand. So let's start. So the cycle market is growing, and on your bike wants to expand. It can expand by opening a new shop or going online. So for option 1, let's talk about opening a new shop. So option 1, let's start with the positive point. So since the cycle market is growing, there is enough demand, as we already saw. So if we open a second shop, there will still be enough demand. So that is our first point. Market is growing, so there is high demand for a second shop. So this is our first point. Then we will talk about why this might be a good idea. So we will build on it. So we will say that On Your Bike is already very successful with its first shop, and it knows how to run the business, it knows all the business strategies, and it's doing so well. So therefore, if it opens a second shop, they will be more experienced and they will have lesser problems in terms of experience, and they will be more able to respond to the customer needs, and they will also be more able to respond, they will better respond to any of the issues that may arise. So this is what we are gonna write. So since there is enough demand, they are more experienced with their first shop, better able to handle strategies and issues. However, we write a good point, why it's good, we analyze how it's good, and then a however point for my option 1. So if we are investing in a new shop, of course this will incur costs. Costs will increase. If costs increases, this will mean profitability will decrease. Another problem is we have high demand for one shop, but do we really have a high enough demand to sustain another shop, to invest in another shop? So investment is risky. It might not work. Investment is risky. It might go both ways. The demand might not be as high to sustain another shop, and all of these will incur costs. If it goes wrong, it will incur cost. If opening a new shop will also incur cost, and therefore lower profits. Alright, so we are done evaluating option 1. Now let's move on to option 2. First, my good point. So option 2 is start an e-commerce business. As we have already mentioned about social media, so we are going to write the same thing. So e-commerce will allow an even wider range of customers to buy stuff from On Your Bikes and to access the shop, because not only people from London can order stuff from On Your Bike, but people from around the country or around the world can order stuff from On Your Bike. So greater customer base. So wider customer base after going online. So that's what we are going to write. People from just not from London but all over the country, all over the world can access it, and therefore it is a good point. Now we are going to build on that good point. How is it a good point? Analyze why this is a good point. So currently, like we said already, currently only people from London buy it. With e-commerce, people from all over the world can buy it. Business will increase, market share will increase, profits will increase, revenue will increase. Right now, just orders from London. However, from e-commerce, orders will come from all around. Higher revenue, higher profits. All right. But with advantages, there are disadvantages as well. So what is one bad point? So one thing is that right now they are operating a in-person business, in-person shop, and it's very interactive, very customer friendly, as we have already seen. Very good mechanics, very good customer service. They do stuff on spot in person. That might be a reason of the large amount of revenue, because customer satisfaction matters. If everything goes online, people might not be interested anymore. So that's my first point. They might not be interested in online purchases. They might want to just go to the shop at first, because, so this is the analysis point. They might want to go in person, customer service. They might want to check the products before buying it. So they might want to go in person, check the products before buying it. Therefore, there will be an information gap if people start selling stuff online. So they might not like it, and therefore this might not work. So that again is a problem. So we've analyzed option 1, written good point, 1 good point, analysis of a bad point, 1 good point for option 2, analysis a bad point of why it might not work. Now we have to just justify in one line which one we feel will be more feasible. So in my opinion, I feel going online is the better option if they really want to expand. So in my perspective, online is the way to go. Why? Because it's online. Even if it does not work, even if it closes down, the losses will be lesser than option 1. Because imagine opening an entire new shop and it does not work. It's a lot of losses. But if you go online and it does not work, you still can back off. You're not paying any rents, you're not paying any employers in the new shop and stuff like that. So the losses will be very low, much lower than the losses in option 1 if things don't work. So that is my justification for choosing the online option. And this is how you write a 9 marker. And that is basically it, I think. Yeah, so this is the end of section B, and for the next video it's the same drill. Why don't you guys go and try it out yourself right now, see if it is an easy one or a hard one. It should be about the same category, and we will of course do it for the next video. And that's it for today. See you. Bye bye.